back again with Hyper Stamper journal flip through, and my name's Laura, and I'm so glad that you're watching this one. This is a really special one. I made this junk journal out of a piano player paper roll, like this one here that I have underneath, and it is the beginning of the roll. Here's one that's not as attractive. So it's that part of the roll that would attach inside the piano. And this one has a lovely black tab here. And the name of the song for this roll was Angel Child. And it's, I just think it's quite lovely. And on the back, there is the printing on how to insert the roll and the song tempo and the dance tempo. And inside the back cover, I added some of the music slits here that play the notes. So let's take you on a little tour of this lovely journal. The actual book is a vintage book called Joy Street, but it had a very plain cover, which is why I covered it up, but it is a lovely title. So I kept the first page in there for you, and that is a vintage book from 1950. I added some tea-dyed pages that I hand stamped. And of course, I always like to use this 1926 ledger page. I'm getting low on these, so that'll make me sad when I run out. But then I get to go and find more. I made this little pocket here out of some old antique papers and scraps, and this lovely little, I think it's a cross-stitch pattern. Look at how pretty that is of a farm. It's really quite sweet, and I love the tones of it. And I mounted all of that onto a atlas page. We've got Florida here, Cuba, Georgia. How lovely is that? And then on this side, this lovely antique book title, and just some more 1926 blank ledger paper. Hard to find, but there you go. And this again is one of the poems from the Indigenous author, late 1800s, Pauline Johnson. And this is one of her poems here from a 1937 edition of her book, Flint and Feather. And again, here are these lovely, cheesy recipe pages. This one's a full color, glazed cherry tarts. It just cracks me up every time I see these. Here's a lovely Christmas poem. And this I made from another one of her poems, so I could get as many of them in these books as I could. And you can journal in there. I made it into a little envelope to make it pretty. Just tuck that right back up there. And over here, you get this lovely vintage doily. And this little piece of paper here is where I pulled off the original sales tag. I wish I hadn't now because it was really pretty, but I put that into another journal. More ledger paper and tea-dyed pages for you. A lovely little picture from a 1930s children's book. A little bit of writing from Rudolph back in the day. And this is a beautiful and fun print from the Henri Rousseau art book from 1956. And Henri was a Parisian artist. Isn't that lovely? Again, all antique book pages. Everything in my journals is authentic, vintage or antique papers, except for the tea-dyed pages. I don't use any digitized commercial replica fake copies. Just a little bit of detail here I added to this 1800s book page. And there's a nice little table doily and the Theater World magazine page with some great advertisements for plays that were going on back in the day, in the 40s. And this is a lovely full page center spread of how to make an English garden. And this one is quite beautiful. It says it's a Japanese garden near Philadelphia. Is that pretty? And here's another one of those, December 1945. Sorry, I think 1945 edition here. And here's a really fun little piece that you can keep or journal on. Look at that, all these bills and receivables. And that's from 1926 as well. And then we have Pearl's shop receipt here. And the title page of a book that says A Shining Tomorrow. I love all these inspirational titles that I was able to pull from books. Just a little tea-dyed page here. It is actually an old book page, but I just wanted to give it some more texture. And a 1950s bingo card, always popular. And another antique book page tag that I've added some embellishments to from antique book pages. Let's see, what's this postcard here? Oh, this is beautiful. I love this one. This is a beautiful mountain view, and I am thinking it is from the 1940s. I can tell by the gloss on the page and the quality of the photograph. I'm turning into a postcard geek. It scares me. This is a lovely page from Emerald Isle book that you will see in a lot of my journals. And this one is called The Ruins. It's, gosh, it's of an old Irish castle. And there's a poem that goes with it and tons of journaling space for you. And whoop, another one of my vintage stamps and hand stamps. More blank pages for you, some Monopoly money from 1930. And this is an advertisement from a old cookbook from the 50s, Blue Ribbon Tea. I remember that. Not from the 50s, but I remember it from the 60s and 70s. Yeah, that's right, I do. No jokes. Little blank page there for journaling. A classic envelope that is full of vintage stamps. I think there's 4 in there. How much fun are they? Collect them all. From all different years, all different places. And I made a pocket out of a children's book page, here from the 1930s again, on a 1945 dictionary page. And there's that one of those 1926 journal ledger pages again for accounting. And this is from the Currier and Ives plate book from 1902. And this one is on an ice boat race on the Hudson. This is a very beautiful historical piece, Surrender of Cornwallis. I believe that's George Washington, yeah. And another one here, the Great International Boat Race of 1869. Isn't that wonderful? Currier and Ives plates are infamous and very sought after. So lucky person who gets this one. Here's another one of my Paris, France almanac pages. This one is from Vendredi 8 Avril 1938, and that is April 8th, 1938, and April 7th. And that was during the World War, I believe, just at the beginning. So you'll see a lot of really interesting satire in those, and send it to Google Translate and have a blast with that. This is a coupon from a cookbook from the 50s. Another 1930 music page here. And because I'm a Canadian junk journalist, you will know how much I hated parting with the junior hockey team yearbook page, but somebody can really enjoy those old photos there. And more tea-dyed pages. And this one says A Great Day, a title I pulled from a antique book. And speaking of antique books, here's the Magic Garden page, which just was printed by the publisher with these beautiful images, different on almost every page in every chapter. And that's one of those cardstock pages from A Christmas Carol. And this lovely, wow, look at that, from a vintage Birds of North America book. And it is on glossy, but you can also see that it is very aged as well. So it's kind of cool having that high quality from a vintage book. And I know somebody's going to enjoy having that one. There's one of the front pages of this book, Joy Street. So I put it back in for more journaling space. And I didn't want to throw that out. And there we go. That's your book. If you want it, it's yours. You have to go to my Etsy shop to purchase this one. It's one of a kind, and you can visit etsy.com/shop/hyperstamper with a capital H. And I hope you'll subscribe, and I'd like to see you again. Bye for now.